Hello, my lovelies. How are you all doing? Well, what can I say? I'm late again. I need to shuffle this way a little bit because I've moved the microphone and I've moved the camera. So it's everything's in the wrong places at the moment. How is everybody? Hello. Welcome to the stream, everyone. Who have we got today? Who have we got? How are you all? Hello in rainy Sweden. Hi, Teresa. Hi, Martina, Patricia, Tina, sweetheart. Hello, welcome to the stream. You look awesome and sound great. Wonderful. So, is the microphone working wonderfully today? I'm hoping that I've got the mic right because we've had some mic issues. How unusual. Good evening in Denmark. Just putting toys away, vacuuming, then we'll join you. No problem, Charlotte. Take your time, babe. Take your time. Hey Morty, my lovely, welcome to the stream. Hello in Toronto. Hello in upstate New York. Wow. Loud and clear. Yes, it's perfect. Sounds good. Hi Tina, rainy in Northampton. Yeah, it's done nothing but rain, has it? It's horrific. Hi Teresa, still super sick, but bead salting today. Oh, my lovely, I do hope you're feeling a little bit better. I really do. Oh, wow, look at you. I can never decide which chat to look at. I might pop the chat out, actually, and put it over where I can see it a bit better, because... Pop out chat. There we go. Let's pop the chat out, she says. Okay. Oh, no, I don't know what I've done with it. Restore chat. Let's restore chat. I'll just do it this way. Greetings in Germany. Welcome to the stream. Hi Maureen in Norfolk. Welcome to the stream. Southern Stitcher in Ohio. Wow. What? Mic is brilliant, loud and clear. Wonderful. Right. Sound check, people. I'm going to quickly check. Oh. Can anyone hear any music in the background? If I put it there, is that too loud? Because what I hear is always different to what everyone else hears. Hear you loud and clear. I'm poorly today. Got bad chest infection, ear infection and conjunctivitis, but going to stitch. Oh, Sarah, my lovely, you've got it all going on this evening. It's all going on. No one can hear music. No music. Hi, Teresa. I can hear a little bit of music. As long as it's only a little bit. Hold on. I'm going to put it there. Yes, music, barely hear it. It's fine. I'm going to put it there. And if it gets too loud, you'll need to let me know. Because you know how much I love a little bit of background music. I hear music. Hi, Teresa. Danish Stitcher, music fine, not too loud. Wonderful. You can hear it a bit. Perfect. Well, I would love to tell you that I was all prepared and ready for the stream today. But I feel like I'm in a bit of a hot mess. You know, when it's just like everything that I thought would happen today didn't happen. And Lauren has asked me to help her with her CV. So we ended up getting so absorbed in that I looked around and I'm like, oh no, I've got less than 30 minutes and I haven't done anything. So yeah. And Darren's at work. He's on a 14-hour shift. So he's not here. So no one's actually overseeing the girls. So I've had to leave the door open and just hope that they can behave themselves. So yeah, this live could be an interesting one. We wouldn't have it any other way, would we? Hi, Teresa. I don't fancy a lady to stitch, but I'm doing a fancy horse. I heard if it's fancy, it counts. Monica, it's so the case. In fact, I have got a story to tell you all. I say a story to tell you. I've got to tell you what happened to me. And yeah, it's not my fault. It's not my fault. It's somebody else's fault. And yeah. More about that in a minute when we tuck on over to the stitching. So no Baileys for you then. No, Danish Stitcher, no. He's not here to do my Baileys, is he? Fingers crossed, he might be here by the time we sort of get to that 8:30, 9:15 mark, you know, just when I might sort of fancy a little tipple. Maria says, sounds like a typical live. Does seem to be a trend, doesn't it? Don't you think? I do tend to be having these trends that are going on. So, how are we all? And what is everybody else stitching? How dare Darren be away? Who'd fetching your Baileys? I know. So rude of him. So rude. Southern Stitcher, does it involve ducks? People. The fact that there's so many of you that already know about the duck situation and we're already talking about ducks and we're like, I don't know, less than 5 minutes in. It wouldn't be a Teresa show. I've still got to get my fancy lady. Right. So, seems as like I said, Teresa was completely unorganised and disorganised today. I'm not organised. So, I'm just going to sit here and get organised whilst I chat with you. So, who's doing what? Not stitching, but reading and listening. Wow. Reading and listening. Can someone come and read for me? I can do the listening. Working on my Dark Queen today. I'm beading Roses of Provence. Oh, Trish, there's a joy. There is a joy. Where is my chart? Oh, no. No, hot mess, people. Hot mess. Where's the chart? I knew it. I think it was the ducks too. Not a fancy stitch, but working on the Natural World sale part 1. Fabulous, fabulous. Not stitching at the moment. It's 6:11 a.m. and I'm getting ready for work. Oh wow, look at you all. I'm trying to work on a finish by stitching on Castles in the Sky. Oh, Charlotte, are you nearly finished that already? She is just like stitching like a Trojan, that girl. Stitches like a Trojan. I'm on Modern Folk Embroidery Sale 2023. Oh, yes. Yes, I've got that as well. But I need to sit down with the chart and actually go through it with someone because I rather like the conversion that they're doing on the borders. I'm fine with the existing tree, but I quite liked the look of the other borders. But then when I tried to look at the instructions of how to do the borders, I've got to be honest, I was like, I need more time to sit and look at this because it was rather scary just to look at. Hi all, you are keeping me company whilst do the dishes. Oh, now there's a joy. I was enabled by the Facebook group and ordered a Stargazer and Snow Queen pattern and started to kit them up. All those rabbit holes. I know, it's bad. See, now you know why I don't do social media, because otherwise I'd be stitching everything. The fancy duck is my thoughts too. I'm still waiting on a few items for my Magwayen project, like fabric. So working on a Jade mermaid that I started a while ago. That is totally fine. Across stitch I have just over 2,000 and then 8 years of back stitch. Oh, I know, Charlotte, it has got a lot of back stitch, that Castles in the Sky, hasn't it? Right, I've got my chart. I've got a needle, she says. Famous last words. Okay, so I just need to find out where I am. Where am I? Where are we going to go now? Okay, blue star. Blue star we need. What is it? I have my Angels and Buffy ready. I finish work though. Fabulous. Rabbit holes are dangerous. Do you know what? I think the rabbit holes are all due to yourselves. It's not me. I might say things that are said to me or shown to me, but you are all the enablers. I think you misconstrued how this is. I think you all blame me for being an enabler, but in actual fact, it's because I'm enabled by all of you. It's not the other way around. Okay, 939. Do we have it? Let's have a look. 939. Oh, come on, really? Is it like the only colour that I haven't already like loaded up? That's just typical. Okay, let's have a look. 939, have we got one of those here? We've got a 336. Don't you just love it when the person that's doing the stream is actually on point, knows what she's doing? Working on Bella Filipina, Maiden of Tea. Can't spell the word, let alone say it. Oh, Tabba to whatever it is. Yeah, I know the one. I know the one well, actually. I can't say it either. Hello in New Mexico. Welcome to the stream. Don't forget the scissors. Got the scissors. It was like a last minute thought, admittedly. I nearly forgot them. We're just going to blame you, Teresa. Do you know what? I love the fact that Teresa gets the blame for all the enabling when in actual fact it's Teresa that is being enabled. Have you ever thought of it that way? Probably not. Probably not, but that is the case. You are all to blame. You keep sharing all these goody projects and pictures, and I just can't help myself. I'm like, I just have to have myself some of that. Nope, Teresa made me do it, and I'm sticking to it. Safer at home than all. Oh, Teresa, how much longer must you be in denial? If anyone is in denial, it is the chat. It is all of you, because you're the ones that force my hand. If I didn't see all this gorgeousness, I wouldn't end up down that rabbit hole. And then it's only the fact that I'm here talking to you that you all get enabled by what I'm doing or what I say. And then it sort of crescendos, doesn't it? Like yeah. You say it like this is too bad. Do you know what? I love you all. I love the enabling. I love it. I'll be honest. I don't care. I'll own up to it. I'll take it on the chin right there, people. My fabric arrived this week, so starting on Princess Elena. Oh, gorgeousness, Natalie. Gorgeousness. She's at the ready. What? That just means that we're all going to live forever to stitch everything. Oh, I love that idea. Right, let me see if we've got the camera set up correctly, and let's see if we can do some stitching, shall we? There we go. There we go. Now, hopefully the chat is still moving. Do you know what? The camera's in the wrong place. Now, would it make you seasick if I just tried to move us a little bit? Just a smidgen? Would that make you a bit seasick if I do that? Or should I just leave it where it is and I'll just sort of go like this? Hello from Maryland, USA. Glad you're catching the live. Hope you enjoy yourself. Make friends on the chat. There's lots of love. Lots of love that goes on this chat. And enabling, so be careful. I haven't seen the tap dancer anywhere and now I'm stitching it. Love it. What are you like? Right, okay, I'm going to quickly move this because this is bothering me somewhat now. Hold up, let me see if I can do this without. Ooh, there. Is that any better? Or have I just made that worse? I can't tell which way it needs to go now. Oh, no, that way. There we go. There we go. There we go. We're done. Hi, Ingrid. Welcome to the stream. Right. Now, I'm sorry about the shadowing overhead. I've got an issue with the lights in front of me, which means I can't turn the overhead lights off because otherwise you can't see the gorgeous fabric. So yeah, so we're just going to have to deal with just a margin amount of shadowing, see? So I hope that doesn't distract too much. But if you are all diligently stitching, it shouldn't distract you at all because you shouldn't be looking at mine. You should be looking at yours. She says, famous last words. Famous last words. So, peoples. Nothing blurry here. What, is it blurry? Is the stream blurry, people? Have I got really bad quality or something? Monica says, love the new nails. Yeah, I went off with the, the Christmas and we've gone with like a, I don't know, I just went with the funky sort of, I don't know, Art Deco design. Distracted by your nails, they're lush. Right, now let me just see if I can see. Now that's a bit concerning. Is that is it because do you know what, we was lucky there. We nearly ended up in a really bad situation then because my chart is upside down. She says, oh, I nearly showed it to you. Is it my chart's upside down? Where am I? Yes. That could have been really dangerous then because I nearly started stitching with the chart upside down. All right, I'm gonna fold this so that you can't see it. Now, what color did I just load up? Did I just load? We need the star. Star? Where's the star? Is anyone stitching Magwayen? Does anyone know what I'm doing? Crystal clear here. If anyone has problems, come out of the video and go back in. Very good shout, Charlotte. Now, I just need to find my own... Do you know what? I think I've just loaded up the wrong damn thread after all that. Who's stitching on Magwayen? 939. Is that what I'm stitching with, or is the star supposed to be 939? It's a blue star. Looks like a red, white and blue star. I'm sure I just checked it. Didn't I just check this? Honestly, lady of a certain age. I shouldn't be left on my own. No, you are true and correct, my lovelies. 939 it is. I have loaded the right colour. It's always nice to know that we're doing it right. You said blue star 939. Yay. I'm stitching Magwayen. A stitch is missing on the crown. I've messaged you the information on Insta. Oh, Candy, thank you for that. Good to know. Nothing quite like something going wrong, is there? Right, okay. Let me just dive on in here and make sure that make sure I know what I'm doing. She says, famous last words. Like, as if I ever know what I'm doing. As if I... Now, do you know what? I had the plan for today, people. The plan was that I was going to sit and do all of the outlines. You know how I did on My Father Christmas and also on 𝓂𝓪𝓻. I would sort of do a stitchy outline and then it would allow for me to just fill in. That was the plan for today. Went well, didn't it? Don't you think? Went really well. I was doing fine until Lauren was like, Mum, can you help me with this CV thing? And I was like, really? Really, babe? And I was like, oh, it'll only take, you know, I don't know, half hour, 40 minutes. We was there for like about 2.5 hours. But it's all in a good cause. All in a good cause. As long as my baby, as long as I help my baby, then that's all that matters. Right, where's my pen? Where's my pen, she says. Hey, Jeep girl, welcome to the stream. Hint, if stitching from original tart, always tape the fold so symbols don't rub off. Now, I'll be honest, I don't ever stitch from the original chart because under normal circumstances, I would load this into GoodNotes and do it electronically. But because I'm doing the stream, I find that it's actually easier, she says, famous last words. There's nothing easy about streaming, stitching and talking at the same time, but we make it work. I always find that I am actually better if I've got the paper version whilst I'm sitting here stitching, unless I'm doing like a recording. If I sit and do a recording, because I've not got to actually keep watching on the chat as well, I tend to find that I can work with the electronic version on the iPad or the Android. But when I'm doing it like this, where I'm like trying to watch the chat, see what you're all talking about whilst you sit and listen to me waffling, of course. Yeah, I find it too difficult to work electronically. So we have to revert to the good old-fashioned pen and paper. Nothing wrong with pen and paper, I know, but get a grip, miss. Menopause. My mum's in the chat, people. My mum knows I've got a brain the size of a gnat these days. It just makes her feel better as well, so it's not just me. Hello from Virginia, working on Hades. What was I thinking? Yeah, that's the problem. Hades always sound like a good idea until you're stitching on them and then like, wow. Now, talking of Hades, people, seems as we're all... Right, I hope you're all sitting nicely with your stitching or your knitting or whatever it is that, you know, your plan was for this evening. Some people like to do their housework whilst they're watching. Whatever it is that you're doing, I have to show you this. So, do you remember last stream and we got rather wowed by the fancy duck? Yes, we all remember the fancy duck in question, right? And I do believe it was the lovely Mags that might have pinged it forwards to me with the fancy duck. Do we all remember the fancy duck? My fancy lady is finally on her way. Yay, Jen! Yeah, love the duck. Right, we'll check this out because this happened. Let me see if I can show you the duck. Oh, how did that happen? I have no idea. This may have jumped in my basket. And this may have accidentally turned into it's going to be a new start. Now, disclaimer, I haven't started it yet. It's a cleaning between stitching. Nothing too exciting, but here for moral support. Loved the duck. What have you done now? I know. So, Mags in the chat is Maggie Kelly, just in case you haven't worked out. So I think if you all love the duck and you love the fact that we've all been enabled by the fancy duck, you should give us some love in the chat. So they're Heaven and Earth design, Gordon Fitchett. I think that's how you say it. Fitchett. Mags, is that how we say it? Am I saying it right? I'd hate to get it wrong. And they've got all these different ducks. And she was doing Master Duck. I went and had a little look. I couldn't help myself. I fell in love with loads of the ducks. And yeah, I know. Faceplant. I'm like, how did this happen? But I really, really like the little princess. And it just so happened that Ellie Welly Stitcher was looking at the ducks as well. So it's not just me. It's not just me with the ducks. That is absolutely the bestest duck. She's such a chick. Look at her. I'd love to be a duck could dress that. And the kimono, I love the fact that, I mean, don't get me wrong. You know when you're sort of sitting there going, where would I put this in my house? Where would it go? What would I do with this duck? But the reality is that she is just stinking gorgeous. And I was like, I can't help myself. But yeah, totally blame Mags. So for those of you that were looking for the fancy duck, here's your fancy ducks. So, but there's loads of them. There's dog walking fancy ducks. There's the little prince fancy duck. There's the princess fancy duck. These are the ones on Haid. Karen, you're not wrong. Hashtag Mags made me do it, Sal. There could be, we may need to name this as a Sal, but it has to be blamed on Mags, okay? Just for the record. You notice, people, that she's picking the one with the lipstick. Well, of course. It would be wrong not to. Charlotte says, National Duck Day is the 19th of January. I think you should start it on that day. Is it really? Since when is there a National Duck Day? I love it. Oh, God. I shouldn't show you my fancy horse then. Monica, please, no, don't show us the fancy horse because I dread to think what could possibly happen. Charlotte, did you really look it up? So 19th of January is it's not Fancy Duck Day. It's just Duck Day, is it? What is a duck if not with lipstick? Rose, I couldn't agree more, my love. I just want to sit down, cross stitch and listen to my audiobook and stitch with you. Oh, I am resisting the duck. I am. It's not going in my basket. No, I had too many large projects now. I'm staying away. Do you know, I was like that. I was like, no, don't even look, Teresa. You don't need to see any more ducks. National Rubber Duck Day is January 13th, according to Google. Okay, come on, ladies. What is it? Is it the 19th or is it... So, okay, National Rubber... Right, hold on. National Rubber Duck Day is on the 13th. But I think Charlotte said... Oh, no. So, National Rubber Duck Day is on January 13th. Oh, my gosh. I just took a peek at the fancy ducks. And watch out! How many of you are going to end up with fancy ducks sitting in your wish list baskets or your gotta have baskets? And now we've got the talk of the fancy horse. Love the duck. We would love my horse with her sparkly threads. Oh no. I want to see the fancy horse. The problem is I'm actually recording on my phone today, so I can't see the stream. I can't see any pictures that anyone... Oh, I don't know. No, I can. Charlotte, if anyone messages, they'll have to message on Facebook Messenger, and I'll bring it up on my computer, because I do not have the usual equipment at hand today. National Donald Duck Day is June 9th. If you need longer to prepare, are we all just trying to find National Duck Days? Is that how this is going? And just for the record, we are making sure that this is Mag's fault and not Teresa's fault, right? There's more than one duck. You're not wrong. There is more than one duck. There's about 20 ducks. So you've got like the conductor duck. You've got the master duck. You've got the princess duck. You've got the prince duck. You've got the dog walking duck. Yeah, the list goes on. It's just duck mad. Now I have to find a mallard duck. Yeah, make sure to blame Mags. It's not Teresa. Teresa got enabled by Mags, who shared her fancy duck. And yeah, the whole rabbit hole happened. It just, yeah. Oh, and the sitting duck, yes. And then there's the ducks in the teacups. Duck in the teacup. I've done Lord Duck of Bucket. He's gorgeous. I'm not looking. No ducking away. No bleeping ducks. Goes and looks at ducks. See, I'm sorry. I'm only sharing what Mag shared with me. So you cannot blame me for this, okay? If all of a sudden I start seeing nothing but ducks all over Facebook and all over Instagram, I'm going to say, well, that had nothing to do with me. That was very much Mags's fault. Mags is the duck lady. Well, duck me. So, needless to say, whether I start it in January or whether I start it in March. My plan was to start it in March because then it gives me plenty of time to get it all prepared and get the threads and get some fabric and make some room. Not that I'm going to get any finishes anytime soon, so it's not like I'm going to like replace it. It'll be an additional stitch. Like I need another full coverage in my life. Hi Teresa, I never managed to catch a live. Glad to be here. Hi Amy, welcome to the stream. Have you missed much on the duck chat? If you're going to have a duck, what about a parrot? A free chart from Haid. I just finished mine. Oh, don't. Let's not go there. I only went with the duck because I couldn't help myself. The kimono on the duck has got so much like gorgeousness in it because it's like they're like the way that I viewed it as to why I could justify. Well, can I justify? Yeah, I can justify. I'm going to justify. Okay, I'm going to justify why it's okay for me to do the duck, and that is. Where was I going with this? Oh yeah, the justification of the duck. So the justification of the duck is each part of the little kimono thing that the duck is wearing. If I was to sort of focus on them, it would be like little finishes. So it's not like I've got to worry about doing the whole duck. Not that I'm going to only do half the duck. But, you know, when it's like, you know, like where it's got those little dividing sections, they would be great little equivalents of like little finishes of the duck. Do you see what I mean? If you're going to have a duck, what about... No, I've done that one. No duck for me. Cheering you on. Karen, what? Are you not going to get enabled since as you keep enabling me, my love? We need to find a duck to stitch. A duck on the 13th. What, the 13th of January? Are we going to go... I can't do the 13th of January because that's like next week. That's not... I haven't got enough time. I just entered the chat to Duck Madness. Amy, let me share with you the ducks. They're full coverage. And everyone in the chat loves them. Hold on, let me show you. See, look. Look at that gorgeous duck. They're Heaven and Earth design. Full cover. I say they're full coverage, but they're not. Because obviously there's no background. It's just the duck that you stitch. It's Gordon Fitchett. So although it's full coverage, it's not really full coverage. This is how I'm selling it to myself. And someone is doing Mag's Maggie Kelly in the chat is doing the master duck, and she shared that on live last week. And yeah, let's just say there was a whole big rabbit hole, and I've ended up with the little princess. There we go. So for those that have just joined in, you understand what the duck conversation is. And now the chat's going absolutely crazy with, apparently there's a duck day. So maybe the conductor duck to put on the piano. 13th is a Friday. So yeah, so that's this Friday coming, isn't it? I can't do it that soon. I would love to do it on Duck Day, like National Duck Day. That would be glorious, but there is no way. And on top of which, so just for the record, seems as I'm getting in nice and early and to keep you abreast of things, there will be no live stream next week because on Saturday I am going to the Essex Needle Stitching Day. So I'll be out of the house all day on the Saturday, and I will be going into London to work on the Monday. So Sunday's going to be the only day that I've got to sort of catch up on housework, get ready for work, yeah, and do all the things. So I've got absolutely zero chance of doing a live next week. So make the most of this week, because we won't be here next week. And the 13th is, what day is the 13th? It's the 8th today. So that, yeah, that's Friday next week. There's no chance. I'm having a great grandbaby being born on the 14th of January. Oh, congratulations, Dolly. Claire said we should do a hashtag Mads made us duck. Do you know what? We definitely need a hashtag. And it has to have Mags's name in it and not mine, because this is all Mags's fault that I've now gone down another rabbit hole of another full coverage. Like I needed any more whips in my life. So you can all blame Mags. Hi Jean, welcome to the stream. Sheila says already looking at the mini duck. So excited to meet you next week. Oh Jen, yes. Jen, you're coming to the Stitchy Day on Saturday, aren't you? Be sure to make sure that you let me know who you are. I don't know. I think you're going to be there before I'm there. So I'll be there on Saturday morning. Fingers crossed, providing traffic's fine, I should be there by about 8:30. 8:30, 8:45. Mags ducked us. Yeah, I'm liking some of these. Mags made us ducking do it. Oh, that one's too good. Please, someone write that down. Don't let that one disappear. Jeep Girl says that we should call it the hashtag Mags made us ducking do it. I like that. Will you be listing, or someone else, all the ducks? Must have them. Well, I don't think we'd need to list them if you just go onto the Haid website and just blow your own mind with all the ducks, because they're endless. But I think if there's others that fancy doing some duck action, then we should definitely all do something together. Teresa, you sound so smug that you're not getting the blame. Do you know what? It's the first. I quite like the fact that it's absolutely nothing to do with me. I just happened to mention what someone else showed us. I would say if you're looking at the Fitchit ducks, don't get the minis. They have too much detail to come out well. So yeah. So one of the things that Mags pointed out to me, because I'll be honest, when I was first looking at the ducks, because I was sitting there thinking, well, I don't want another giant full coverage piece, because yeah, it's just another giant full coverage piece. So I thought at first maybe I would go with one of the minis. So I did actually purchase the mini of that. So that particular one that I'm doing, the princess, they do it in a mini little princess. So I got the mini little princess, and then it was only when I was going to, I showed it to Mags like on Messenger, and was like, look what you did. I totally blame you. You're so bad. And then she turned around and she said, oh, is that the mini? And then she said, have you looked at like the mock-ups of like the mini and the actual? And then when we did a comparison, I didn't realise, but the mini, you lose so much of the colour. The detail was just, the colours weren't as vibrant. I couldn't quite tell much about the detail, but definitely the colours were much more muted in the mini versus the full size. So I threw caution to the wind and I got the full size one because, yeah, why would I go with one that's muted when I could have one that was like full of colour? And to be honest, when I was looking at the sizes, they're not, because they're not small ducks, I was like, well, whether they're small ducks or not, I really don't think it makes that much of a difference whether you go with the mini. Because I don't actually think the mini is that much smaller, not significantly, if you see what I mean. And if you're going to do a full coverage, I mean, most of the full coverages would be bigger than that, stitch-wise anyway, when you look at actually the stitch count rather than the size. I'm coming too and can't wait to meet you in person. Crafting with Natalie. Oh, right. Well, you two need to make sure that you let me know who you are. Make yourselves known to me in the room when I get there. I have the Zen duck pattern, but not ready to start it. Yep, no. Thanks for the tips, Mags. Yep, definitely. What colour is your fabric? What, this one? On this pattern that I'm stitching on at the moment, she says. I'm newish to cross stitch. Thought I was a monochromatic stitcher. However, I've now got 3 whips, 5 projects kitted up, and now I'm looking at ducks. Elizabeth, I'm sorry. I remember when I first started stitching, I was almost a monogamous stitcher. I wouldn't say I was completely, but when I was doing Faces of Fury, was I a monogamous stitcher? Well, I did stitch mostly on that. I had like a couple of other little tiny ones on the go, but not anything more than that. I need to keep marking so I don't go wrong. I'm going to have to check out these ducks now. Stacey, there is nothing wrong. There is nothing wrong with a duck in your life. And the fact that they're so stinking cute, I couldn't help myself. Couldn't help myself. Can you do a video of what everyone is stitching on at the retreat next week? I enjoy watching those. I can try. The only problem is it's not a full weekend retreat next week. There is one in March. So I tell you what, because it's only going to be a day's worth of stitching. So it's basically a day retreat. We're going for like a day. And on a day, you don't really have much time to do sort of anything other than a quick, chatting with people and a little bit of stitching. So let me promise you, if I don't get to do one at this day stitch retreat, I will definitely do it when I go to my March retreat, because the March retreat, I will be there for the full 3 days. So on a full weekend, I can normally find time to do my recording. But it's well, Charlotte will confirm this. She's seen when I've done that recording in the room on the retreats. It takes ages to get around the whole room and to make sure that you get everybody's, because people come and go, people disappear, then they come back. So yeah, I don't like it if I've sort of missed anyone out in case they did want theirs, because I don't like to show people's faces, because I appreciate that not everyone loves a camera. But I do like to make sure that all their stitching gets on the channel so that I can show you all the goodness, because there is absolutely nothing like looking at other people's stitching and oohing and ahhing over it, because it's but enabling, I cannot guarantee to you that you won't be enabled by something that's being stitched in the room. We see, I just put the kids to bed, totally lost where I left. You've not missed much. We was talking about ducks, but I think we've moved on from the duck chat now. Hi Leslie, welcome to the stream. You just found me today, aren't you lucky? Most of these gorgeous people have known me for longer than that, and they're probably cursing me for keeping enabling them. So I'm sorry. Ladies, put ducks on your name tags. Then Teresa will know you're a little stitcherette. Oh dear. I just purchased a frog piece from Haid. Just got to the bottom right corner. Now have 2.5 borders done. Yay, Michelle. Welcome. And good luck. Good job on the corners. What one are you working on? Are you working on this one? Are you doing like the outline of this? Oops, just bought the dog walking duck. I know, Sue. How bad is it? I usually run away. I'm too busy shopping. It does take a while for you. I believe Teresa dyed her own fabric. Might be wrong though. So if we're talking about this fabric here, this fabric I did dye myself because there was no way for me to get my hands on the fabric that I had in mind for this piece. So I thought, well, you know, we'll just have to throw caution to the wind and we'll just have to give it a go ourselves. So this is like a mixture of all different. There's a bit of teal in here. I think there was like an olive green and I think it was called Kelly green I used. All from the Rit dye. Right, let's park that. She says park it. End that there. My current project, but it's quite old. Hoping to finish. Oh, chat just shot off for a minute there. Hold on. Then I'll see how many new whips I get. Quiet mind stitcher. Hey Mary, sweetheart. Did you like the one on the Vespa? There's a duck on a Vespa. There is. Be careful. Be careful. You could all end up down a big duck hole. Just looking at the ducks at Hay, they are so precious. Oh my God, Teresa. The one with the 2 pups that had a great match for you too. Maybe with the colour conversion. Yeah. See, the minute you said colour conversion, I was like, oh, no. Let's not make it any harder than it needs to be. I'm going to get to the ducks and that's one off then. Please move away from the ducks. I'm not tempted yet if you keep talking about it. New subject, please. Okay, we're going to move away from the ducks, people, because, yeah, not everyone wants to end up buying another duck or a duck. Hello in Canada. Welcome to the stream. See, I don't know what to say now that we're not talking about ducks. Can someone suggest a fabric, as my chart from Kate arrived yesterday, so I need to kit up from scratch and not very experienced. Okay, so what chart have you got? Is it the Magwayen chart? It is not always for the pattern. Sometimes I get enabled and start purchasing fabric then after I was watching your retreat video. Right, okay, so we have a not so experienced person in the chat who has got her Magwayen chart and she doesn't know what fabric to go with. So I guess you could either pick something that is very similar to what the chart calls for, which if you look at the picture on the screen, it's like a, I don't know what colour you call that. What would you call that? Is that a taupe? Is that a taupe colour? It's not brown. It is like a taupe. So you could always buy a hand-dyed fabric of something that's of similar colouring. Depends whether you like something that's really mottled or whether you want something that's a little bit different. I went green, but that's me. I decided to go green. But at the moment, I don't know if you've noticed, I've gone on a whole green theme. It's like I've got green fabric. I've got, yeah, green nails. I'm just green. Oh, I've got green on my jumper. I hear you all talking about dyeing your own fabric. How does that work? Can you still wash your work when it is finished? So, general rule, she says loosely, if I work on a hand-dyed fabric, I never wash my fabric. Never. If I've hand-dyed my own fabric, of which I've only done a couple of times, would I wash it? No, not me personally. Now, there are some hand dyers out there that suggest that you can wash them. I personally, I don't know if I would be that brave. What does the chat think? Chat? Your expertise is required at this moment in time. How do you feel about washing hand-dyed fabrics? And do you think it's okay to do so? This is why I love doing these lives, because there is a bundle of knowledge at your fingertips on these live streams. And it's all this knowledge that tells you what you can and can't do, what you should or shouldn't do, and just, yeah, all the help you need. Yep. So everyone's, well, I say everyone, never wash my hand-dyed fabrics. I wouldn't wash it. No. Ellie Weller Stitcher says you can wash the Picture This Plus. So what's the difference, Ellie, for Picture This Plus? Do they sort of, is there like a guarantee that it won't run, or is it, do you know? Just so that we've got our facts on the stream. I like everyone to be well informed. You can make much better decisions when we're well informed. I want to lighten a hand-dyed fabric, so I washed it. It will definitely fade. Right, so Candy says that Picture This Plus is stamped. Stamped? Is that? Yeah, stamped. Well, crap, stamped. Yes. So the difference is obviously that's not dyed in the same manner as the others are. So for hand-dyed fabrics, I personally would never wash them. But apparently if it's a Picture This Plus, it's a stamped. The way they actually do the dye, it's stamped rather than just dyed. So it's stamped, but it looks hand-dyed. So you can wash it. Melinda says, I wash mine over and over after I dye it till the water runs clear. Then iron it with lots of with a hot iron. I've never had an issue with washing my finished products from my own hand dyed. So, Melinda, as you do lots and lots of washing to get the water to run clear, if you've then ironed it and then you stitched on it, would you then put it back in the wash after that and wash it again and expect for your hand-dyed colouring of your fabric not to change? Can you please use floss thread with DMC 2 strands over 1 on a lower count like 20 or 18 count? Can you use floss threads with DMC 2 strands over 1 on a lower count? Jean, I'm trying to think what you mean. Can you use floss threads with DM? Right, I use floss threads with DMC, and I use it when I'm stitching 2 over 2. So if I'm doing 2 over 2 of DMC, I will use 1 strand of floss over 2. Heads up for anyone stitching Magwayen. There are 2 very similar asterisk symbols on the chart. DMC 356 and 3808. Almost stitched with the wrong colour. Oh, good heads up, Kelly. Thank you for that. Karen says, if the designer states that it is colour fast, then you can wash it. So we can wash some if they say that they're colour fast. I've never had one say that they're colour fast. Karen, do you know of any particular hand dyers that do state that they are colour fast? if you dyed it yourself and it rinses clear, then you can wash it. Charlotte, no, I didn't know that. I had no idea that Picture This Plus were actually stamped. I thought that they were all hand-dyed. So Melinda says, yes, it's fine. I rewash afterwards because I want to get the oils from my hands washed out. Good to know. Right, so the question about the floche, so the DMC floche. So if you're using 2 strands of normal DMC and you're doing a full cross, I would use 1 strand of floche, because 1 strand of floche is about, it's about 1.5 the thickness of a normal DMC. So therefore, if you was to put, say, the DMC 2 strands together, the 1 strand of floche will probably give you about the same amount of coverage, because it is thicker than a normal DMC. Don't wash Magwayen, the silks will run. Ask me how I know. Oh no, Candy, have you stitched it and washed it? Only you, Candy. I'm taking it by the fact that Charlotte just made that pun. That means that Charlotte has found out, or that Candy found out the hard way, that the silks do run. That is the other thing. So just for those that are on this stream that are thinking that, oh, you know, we can all wash our projects if it says that the fabric is you know, safe to, please bear in mind that only works if you're stitching with DMC threads. If you're not stitching with DMC threads and you're stitching with hand-dyed threads or over-dyed threads, you would have to be mindful that your over-dyed threads or your hand-dyed threads may run. I would hate for that, because that would be even worse. There's one thing, your fabric not losing the colour, but if the threads did and you had no idea, oh, I can only imagine. That would make my eyes boggle and my hair curl. And I would love to have curly hair, but not to the point that I would do that to a project. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, I'm trying to keep an eye on this chat, but it's moving very fast. You're all very active this evening. We have a very active chat. Teresa, when discussing WW Centre, so Winter White Centre, you said you used something different for the white. Is that the flows you are discussing? Southern Stitcher, yes, it is. I would say I'd get it, but it's up there. But basically, yeah. So the flows is still a DMC thread, but it's like a flat thread. It's got a slightly different consistency to a DMC, and because I've got a pet hate of stitching white and 2 strands always looks messy, I find that if I use floche and I use 1 strand of floche and do that full cross where everything else would be stitched with 2 strands, it gives me the same amount of coverage, and I'm much happier with the coverage of the white, and I'm also much happier with how it all lays and how it sits. Candy said, yeah, my kids put a wet towel over my evening in the park. Oh, no. Oh, that's bad. So Christy says, I did rinse a complete stitch piece on hand-dyed. There was some colour in the water, but it didn't luckily have problems with the piece. Yeah, see, I wouldn't even like to begin. So Candy says, no, trees, it was on my chatelaine. Oh, my lovely. Oh, I think, well, I can't even, well. Do you remember the time, well, for those of you that have been with me for a while, you remember the time that Darren accidentally dropped tea on my Roses of Provence whilst I was in the middle of stitching it. I could have killed him. I nearly did kill him, in all fairness. It took all of my self-control not to absolutely lose it at him. And he was like, oh, it's fine, that'll wipe off. I'm like, you've got no idea. All over the white as well. All over the white it went. It didn't go over any of the other colours. It was just the white. So, Danielle, my creative stamper. Hello, all you lovelies. I finally got my fabric and will be able to start later today. I've been running all over today and will be picking up a puppy today. So Mags will have to wait a bit longer. Oh, and lovely little puppy. Oh, you're going to have your hands full. You are going to have your hands full. So Karen says, Lakeside linens are washable. Lakeside linens was born when we began developing linens that were washable and as colour fast and light fast as possible. It was a natural step to beginning creating designs. So Lakeside linens are washable too. So there we go. So you've got Picture This Plus and Lakeside linens that you could wash if you needed to. Teresa, do you love to watch Call the Midwife? Do you know what? I haven't. I started watching it, but just didn't get very far, to be honest. I don't really get that much chance to sit and watch TV. So, I mean, normally when I go and the other thing is I tend to find that if I try and sit and watch TV, I don't actually concentrate on doing whatever it is I'm doing. And because when I do get a chance, I do like to sit and do my stitching, I tend to find that I'll put floss tube on. And I sit and listen to floss tube. I don't... If you do what I do, I look up when there's a little something. When someone goes, oh, I've got this. And I'm like, oh, what's that? But most of the time, I'm listening rather than actually physically watching everything that they do. There are one or two exceptions, I'll give you that. Stacey said, I was saying a prayer for Darren. Yeah, he needed a prayer. He had some verbal abuse that really got thrown at him when he had no idea what he'd done wrong. So, would Karen water lilies run? First time I've used them, wouldn't want to ruin my piece. I personally would not wash Karen water lilies. That's just my take. Candy says yes, Karen water lilies will run. And most things that were red will run. Danielle, we have two Shih Tzus, is that are 13 and 14. So what's another Shih Tzu puppy? Oh, how lovely. Well, at least you've got something, or a smaller one, to keep the older ones entertained. Not that they need entertaining. It'll be the little one that wants to be entertained. If it's anything like my two. Do you know what? My two have been so good today. And because I've been really quite preoccupied, I've had quite a lot of stuff to do. And normally they can be a bit, lively. And today they've been really subdued. I mean, Honey's been particularly subdued today. She's asleep in her bed. Bonbons can't decide where she wants to be. What are you doing? What are you doing? Yeah, she can't decide where she wants to be. She's just like mooshing around all over the place at the moment. Aren't you? And now she's looking at me and says, well, come on, pick me up then. Pick me up, Mum. I want to come up there. Although you probably see her in the background behind the chair, don't you? What? No, you can't come up here. Get down. Yeah, see? That's what happens when you talk to them. I should not talk to her. If I don't talk to her, she doesn't make a beeline for me. But as soon as I talk to her, she's like, oh, she's talking to me. Also, make sure that the lips on any pens are on after use, as it's very easy to place your fabric on top of it. That's a good shout. Honey is saving her energy for later. Stacey, you're probably not wrong there. But I'm fine with that, because as soon as I get off this stream, I'll go play tug of war and throw the ball for bonbons, and yeah, just let them get up to some craziness. Because what worries me is it's like if they don't get this out of the system, a little bit of craziness this evening, it'll be just as I'm about to get into bed that they'll just come alive, because they are like kids. Maybe they're missing Darren. Yeah, actually, when Darren turns up, they do get a bit lively. So maybe when Darren turns up, they'll go play. And then Darren can wear them out for me. But then if Darren wears them out, we're going to hear the carnage from in here, because they get very vocal when when Darren's around. Very vocal indeed. I hope I've got that right. Why have I got, hold up, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. No, we're doing all right. We're doing all right. We've not gone wrong yet. I don't think I'm doing too bad considering that I didn't do my outline like I planned to today. Because I was going to outline some stitching so that I could actually just fill it in whilst I'm sitting here reading what you're writing. That was my original plan. Best laid plans and all of that. You've got to love a bit of plans. Okay. I've washed several fabrics I've purchased from Mystic Fabrics here in the US. No worries, they're colour fast. She has one blue colour that she clearly labelled as not colour fast. I'd never wash Karen's. So who's that? Mystic Fabrics in the US. Do you know what? I've never heard of Mystic Fabrics. I feel all left out now. I'm going to have to look that one up. If you aren't sure about the floss, snip a small piece, wash it and see if there's any colour in the water or on the paper towel that you lay it on. That's a good idea. One of the items that I cannot get from my Magwayen chart is the Mill Hill Frosted Bottle Green Beads. They seem to be out of stock everywhere. Any suggestions on replacement? Corinne, where are you? Are you in... Oh, no, she's in north-southwest Florida. So I'm taking it 1, 2, 3 Stitch don't have it then. It may be something that you're going to have to get brought in from another country. This is the only trouble, isn't it? When we start sort of ordering patterns and charts and the likes, because you just never know. There's some countries that you can easily source the materials, and then other countries have to wait like an eternity to be able to get the materials in. It was a bit like sort of with this one. It's like the pre-order was done. I'm gonna have to let the girls out because the girls are like hovering around at the door. So bear with, people. I'm just gonna put you on be right back, and then I'll sort the girls out and be right back with you. So chat amongst yourselves, okay? Chat amongst yourselves, and I'll be right back. Okay, hopefully. Can you hear me? I don't want the music to be too loud. I don't want to be blasting anybody's ears out. Okay, where was we at before we was rudely disturbed by the girls? They're up to no good. Lauren said she's going to try and keep an eye on them for me because she's decided she's not going to stream tonight. So what was you all talking about? I've been cross-stitching for years after years of not being able to, but find that the white fabric shows through when stitching with dark threads. How do I stop this from happening? Try everything cross stitch. I've got a lot of things from them. So hold on. So I've been cross stitching after years of not being able to, but find that the white fabric shows through when stitching with dark threads. How to stop that from happening? So it depends on how many strands and what the count is. So sometimes if you're stitching on like a low count, such as a 14 or a 16 count, 2 strands of a darker thread won't cover enough of the white to cover it. So it really is very dependent on the fabric count. So you tend to find that if you're, say, stitching with 2 strands full cross on, say, a 25 count, you will get very little show through. I'm making the assumption that we're talking about DMC threads here. There must be a green colour that's pretty close in colour. No one will notice it's the wrong colour. So there must be a problem with getting hold of these beads then. We can hear you. Sorry, I've not been participating much in the live. I had to do something else. Not a problem, Silver. Not a problem, my lovely. It's lovely to have you here, as always. Right, hold on. Let me just... What's this? People in Messenger are messaging me pictures. I'm going to avoid the pictures so I don't look, because yeah, we don't need any further enabling going on this evening. There's plenty enough enabling going on. Okay, so where are we at? We're at 1, 2, 3. So how is everybody stitching going? What are we all doing anyway? None of you actually said what you was doing. What are we all stitching on? Or are we not stitching? Are we just chilling? Chilling and listening? You do not need another rabbit hole, Teresa. No, you're right, I don't. Okay, so we've got some people that are on Magwayen. We've got Portrait of Veronica. We've got Doing Dishes and Listening. Oh, I'm still waiting on my materials. Oh no. Royal Holiday. Oh, that's a pretty one. Autumn Warmth. Magwayen, my Sunday stitch. Because everyone ordered the same stuff for this sale. Celtic Autumn. Dark Queen of the Earth by Autumn Lane Stitchery. So Louisa is working on Magwayen's hair. Yeah, I wasn't going to start at the top. I thought I'd start in the middle and make it easier on myself. Knitting a blanket in sock yarn. Hi, Anne, my lovely. Hummingbird Pixie by Bella Filipina. Cozy Winter Hade. I'm working on Lost No More Cross Stitch. Ink Circles. Wow, wow, wow. Look at you all go. The Holiday of Gecko Rouge. Red from Mirabilia. Wow, look at all of these charts. So many books, so little time. I'm trying to get back into Sweet Dreams, L&L, which I started eons ago. It's mostly confetti now, so not easy. Yeah, confetti always sucks, doesn't it? I mean, don't get me wrong, it's worth it at the end. It's just that actually getting to the end that's the problem. Charlotte said, all of you lot make me want to pull out all the whips. It does, doesn't it? Like Scarlet by Mirabilia, Holly Berry, Christmas Angel in Blue by Lavender and Lace, Mirabilia Andromeda, Lavender and Lace Angel of Grace, Roses of Provence, Queen Bee. I'm working on Dressmaker's Daughter. I'm doing a fancy sampler. I'm currently using 1 thread of DMC with 1 strand of Cryonic. very fine braid, number 4. Complete nightmare. Oh, Catherine, that sucks. But look, at least you're being kept occupied whilst you're having to deal with it. It's always nicer to have something to sort of take your mind off of it. I tend to find that I get easily frustrated if I don't have something to take my mind off of it. Which is hence the reason why I love to watch a lot of FlossTube. Because I feel like I'm actually sitting there just listening to someone chatting about stitching, and every now and then I can look up and sort of, you know, take note or get enabled. Normally getting enabled, in all fairness. But that way it's not like I'm just sitting there solely focusing on the stitching and I'm like, this is boring. This is like really boring now. Okay, where am I at? Let me just check. Checking in. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yep, we're marking correctly. I'm stitching kittens, small little cute kitties. The new normal by Long Dog Samplers. I'm stitching on my Long Dog Tap Dancer, waiting on fabric. Oh wow. It's 6 AM here, so I'm just watching and listening. Yeah, that's a little early to be doing your stitching. I must admit, I got up this morning with the intention that I was going to get up and get some stitches in. But I ended up doing some exercise instead. So, you know, when you sort of... If I'd have got up and done anything else, I probably would have been kicking myself. Because I'd be like, ugh, I didn't get to do what I wanted to do. But because I know I needed to do a little bit of exercise, because I've been particularly lazy this last few days, I thought, no, actually I feel quite good about the fact that I didn't just sit down and do stitching and did something active first. But in all fairness, then I sat down and did bits and pieces. Just starting page 6 of the dancer. I've been watching all your pictures on Facebook. Already a week behind. You're all so fast, I'll never catch up. There is no catching up. There's a lot of people that are not working, that they've not just started their projects. A lot of people are using existing whips for the sale. So don't feel that you're being left behind. There is no being left behind. Any suggestions on making flat colour shiny? Flat colour shiny? What? Flat colour what shiny? Sorry. I'm confused. I started Fairy Moon by Mirabilia, but I'm not sure about the fabric. It was one I found in my stash. Bewitched by pole stitches. But I can't decide if it's too much, like the purple in the chart. Ooh, only you can tell, Bex. Unless, of course, you could try posting a picture on the sale Facebook page and ask the ladies and gentlemen there, because they're pretty good with their colours. What's exercise? The word doesn't sound fun. Charlotte, what you like? I have to do something. Can't just sit around doing nothing. I have to do something. You can tell that I've not had a drink, can't you? Because it's like I've been working on mine during the stream. It's going to take me a while. Yeah. Well, look, you're worried about what it's going to take you a while. Look how far I've got. I mean, admittedly, I'm not too. I don't feel too bad about the amount of stitching I'm actually getting done. The only snag for me, or the only thing for me, is I'm going to have to sort of like go off stream and then sit here and systematically go through to make sure that I haven't already made a boo-boo, because that's always a possibility. And it always worries me when I'm sitting here thinking that I'm counting and concentrating on my stitching. But because I'm concentrating on having a chat all at the same time, inevitably there's always the possibility that I'm going wrong. Silver stitches. You need your Bailey's, Teresa. I do. I'm feeling like it's... I'm trying to finish 𝓂𝓮𝓪𝓻 as it's a birthday present for my mum, as she is going to be 94. Oh, wow. Peacock's Lagoon. Do you know what? I haven't got mine out in forever. It needs to come out and get some love. Donna Marie says, I've still got 24,000 stitches left, so I'll be last. Don't worry. Oh, that's a lot of stitches. But with the way that you stitch, I don't think you're going to have a problem with getting it done super fast. I mean, when you think how very little amount of stitching I get done, let's just be honest here. Hold on, where are we at? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, I need to take note and mark as I go, because I get myself all lost and stuck. Only on page 2 of Moonlight Lake. I have 18 more pages to go. There's a lot of you that do stitch on the full coverages then. So Michelle's just said, I have 72,595 left. Do you know what? I don't even look at how many stitches I have left. I'm too frightened to look, especially when I'm sitting there thinking of all the different projects that I've got and all the full coverages that I've got. But could you imagine if you was to sit there and go through every single whip that you've got and count every single stitch that you've got to stitch and then total them up for the total amount of stitches for all your whips? Can you imagine? And then you'd be sitting there going, there is no way I'd ever get all of this stitched in my lifetime. I didn't order the fabric until the end of December, so I won't even be able to start, so don't feel bad at all. I've only just done slightly over 100 stitches, so I'm not speeding ahead. Yeah, there's a lot of us that are not speeding ahead. It says I'll be done at the end of May. I have a whole pile of full coverage in my stash. It only seems to work on one at a time. Yeah, see, I don't. No, no, I don't. So, what was I stitching? So, today and yesterday, I was stitching on my mini Red Queen Red Dragon. See, spoiler alert. You're getting a spoiler alert here. And then, before that, I was working on... What was I working on before that? It was a different full coverage. Oh, the Wool Shop. There we go. So the Wool Shop had 3 days. Mini Red Queen Red Dragon, I think she's on 2 days. So yeah, I just pull them out and do a day or so on them. When I say a day that's loosely. It's not actually a day. Oh, someone's on it, look. I have 1.077.017 stitches left on my current project. Is that just one project? I read the figure wrong. Okay, so Donna Marie, I read the figure wrong. It's 282,600 in total completed. So that's 4,051 left. Hey Sussex Stitcher, welcome to the stream. Melinda said, maybe you wouldn't be buying ducks. Hell, I'd still buy the ducks. I can't help myself. Do you know what? I don't think it really ever matters to me how many things I've still got to stitch and how many projects I've still got. For me, it is just the joy of being able to do the stitching. It doesn't seem to bother me how many I've got, whether they ever get finished. And anyway, even if I don't finish them in my lifetime, that's not to say that someone else won't finish them for me. Because I would like to think that if anything ever happens to me, that all my stitching will go to like-minded people. And I've told Darren that he's not to get involved. He's not to have anything to do with my stitching stuff. And that if anything happens to me, Lauren has full control over my YouTube channel and my Facebook and my Instagram. And she will reach out to the relevant people and let them know of the situation. And yeah, and it will be down to Lauren and those others to decide what to do with all my stuff. Whether it be share on the channel. I would like to think that someone would, I don't know, do like a, you know, like how we do like a whip parade where we've got, oh, I've got this and I've stitched on that. I would like to think that someone would do a whip parade of all of my charts and all of my projects, but on the intention that it's like, well, here's what Teresa did on this one. Who would like to take over this one and stitch this and have it? Yeah, that's what I would like to think would happen. Probably would never happen, but do you know what I mean? I've adopted your viewpoint about stitching. Used to do one at a time, but then I never started what I wanted. Now I do. That's my point. If I sit there not ever stitching the things that I want to stitch and just working on one project, I can't guarantee that I'd ever get to the things that I want to stitch on. And I get great enjoyment out of just enjoying the process of stitching. That's just me personally. I made the mistake of trying a large project after no stitching for 15 years. For some, yeah, for some you need to start small and then work your way up. But in all fairness, yeah, I started big. But that was just me. I just didn't see the point of starting something small if it didn't wow me. I needed to be wowed by something. So there's nothing quite like being wowed, is there? Almost halfway through being working from August, so think I'm doing a page a month. I'll be a while before I get started on Evening in the Park. The fabric I want costs about 50 quid. Yeah, that's the thing. When you're going with bigger projects, you tend to find that it's, you know, that there are some expensive parts or some costly. But in all fairness, when I speak to Darren about this, and he's like, "Oh, you know, your stitching that's not cheap," and I'm like, "Well, you say it's not cheap." I said, "But okay, so a Heaven and Earth design might cost a lot to kit up if you're going to use DMC threads and you order everything, because then the fabric and the chart and you add it all up. It's not cheap. However, it takes us forever to stitch them." So it's like, yeah, if you then divide that by the number of days of joy that you get stitching on it, then is it expensive at that point? I don't think so. I don't think it is at that point. I think I've frogged more than I stitch. Luckily for me, I haven't done any frogging today. I saw you tap dance, Teresa, and fell in love. Yeah, well, do you know what? That one's up in the bedroom. But because hubby's been around, I haven't had a chance to do much stitching upstairs. So it's been sort of neglected, I'll be honest. Okay, 1, 2, 3. Hold up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 2, 7, 8. That can't be right. Hello. I could be going wrong already. See, it didn't take very long, did it? It's cheaper than some nights out. Do you know what? You're so right. Especially like going out for a meal these days. And if you go out for a meal for, say, a meal for 2, it can cost me as much on one meal with a glass of wine as it did for my entire full coverage. Right, hold on. I think I might have made a boo-boo here. Hold up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. No. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7. No, that can't be right. Oh no. Oh, Teresa, you said the F word. What F word? What word did I say? Did I say the F word? Oh, I said that word. Did I say it? I didn't say that word. I didn't say that word, did I? Right, hold on. Something's not right. So anyone that's got the Magwayen chart, take note with me. I'm counting. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. It's definitely real on this channel, don't you think? We're very real. Let me check again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And I've marked off 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Oh. Okay. Stand down. Crisis is over. We're all right. We're all good. It's all fine. You jinxed yourself. Not yet. Not yet. I haven't. Do you know what? I think I need that Baileys. I think that's the problem. I need the Baileys, people, to keep me on track. Is there a link for the infamous duck patterns? I have to see them. Charlotte, could you put a link in the chat, please, for the duck? Well, for the 𝓂𝓮𝓪𝓻 or Mad Multi. One of the mods, please. Could you put the link in the chat for someone, or for everyone that might want to go and look at ducks? There you go. The link for it is in the chat. And the ducks are by 𝓂𝓮𝓪𝓻. I'm not allowed to talk about ducks. Very cute ducks, I must say. They are. I have to have myself a duck. But I must admit, I'm trying to stay focused on my whip go. So far, I mean, unusually, I normally am like, oh, I don't want to fancy stitching on that. Because I always used to do my whip go based on project rather than on theme. And now I've gone a bit theme based. So rather than sort of restricting myself down to just being able to sort of stitch on one project, I now get a choice. And yeah, I know it's very early. I know we're only, what are we, the 8th of January. So there's a long way to go. There's a whole 12 months worth. But so far, so good. One is very happy with the fact that I've been more than happy to pull out the projects that I fancy that are within the category rather than being forced to stitch on a particular piece. So, and now all I need to do is, I'm working from home tomorrow, and then I'm in London Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. So I need to pull out my I think, what is it? I've got either or autumn or Halloween project that I need to work on, or a sampler type one. So I need to decide on what my train project's going to be. So I'd like to think that I could use my train projects as one of those. Teresa, would you mind showing a close-up of your stitching so that I can see how you're doing? What was the problem I was having with linen? I can't make out the holes. Would you mind showing a close-up of your stitches so I can see how you are going in? Going in? I don't know if I've got a zoom on here. Let me see whether it zooms. Hold up. Let me see. This is trial and error. We're trial and error now. Oh, there we go. Yeah, there we go. There's a good enough zoom. You can't see the trap very closely, but yeah. So, when I'm doing mine, I don't think you can see that as clearly. I mean, I don't pull very tight. I mean, well, it's a bit difficult to tell because I've got... Let me get rid of my little ratty tail there. There we go. Get rid of that. So which part of it do you not get? Because that goes like that, and then that just goes over the top. It may be because with the linen where you've got like a weave, sometimes you can have your threads, if you pull too hard, you can have your threads actually slip under. On the even, I've never had this on my even weave, in all fairness. I've never had it so that it's ever done that. On the linens. By the way, Darren's here, so that's the reason that you can hear the girls screaming in the background. Darren has arrived home and the girls are misbehaving. Right, I hope that helps. It's a bit hard to say what it is that you've got going on with yours, because yeah. Let me take you back off Zoom. There we go. And you can see the chat properly. Let's go feed the ducks your money. Michelle, stop enabling. I don't need any help. I think everyone else should go buy ducks. I've already bought a duck. I don't need any more ducks. I've changed exclusively to CXC. DMC is hard to come by and too expensive. Michelle Sayer of Hayde probably is wondering why the duck is so popular now. How many of you have gone and bought a duck? I just got to ask the question just so that I know. Don't click on it. It will fall into the rabbit hole. Christy says, I'm a process stitcher, but when I bead, I want to get it done. Is that odd? No, because beading isn't stitching. They're two completely different beasties, aren't they? Let's be honest here. Thank you for the link. They are very cute. I like the scooter one. I could probably do a hay duck, but I tend to go big on everything and bought a pattern. I miscalculated the size. It ended up being 252 pages and 4.5 foot long. Oh, that's big. That's big. Quaker Halloween one for the train. 2 birds, 1 train journey. That's a good shout, actually. I could do the Quaker Halloween, couldn't I? Or, because it was either autumn or Halloween, I could use Greta. Because that's autumnal, isn't it? Do we class... Yeah, because that's Halloween-y. So I could do Greta, or I could do the Halloween Quaker. What else have I got? I think that's all I've got for autumn and Halloween. David has just been moved to join the chat. What do you mean he's just been moved? Where's he been moved from? Hello, I finally managed to join the chat for the first time. Hey David, welcome to the stream. Hope you're having fun. What is the difference between CXC and DMC? Are they equal? They're a lot cheaper. So the CXC threads are massively cheaper than the DMCs. Colour-wise, I've not found much of a difference in the colour. The only thing that I would say is the CXC threads, I think, are more fluffy than the DMC. So therefore you get more coverage on them. That's just personally my experience. I bought 2 ducks. I bought 3, which I may buy. Oh, I've got 3 that I might buy. Southern Stitcher, I bought multiple ducks. Silver Stitches, I'll probably do it in the sale. Brenda, I confess, duck ordered with lipstick. Yay, Brenda! Louisa, watch out, those shelves are very slippy. Don't let my 2-year-old hear ducks. She tries to bring one home every day she goes to feed them. Oh no, don't be bringing the real live one home. No. If this was a video game, there would be 100 companies out there trying to create other ducks, thinking 2023 is the year of ducks. Oh, don't. totally right, Teresa. I'm using CXC for my fancy ladies. Yeah, the coverage on the CXCs is really, really good. So the coverage is good. I don't know if I marked that last one off. Let me just do this so that I don't mess this up. So the threads themselves, I think. So I find that when I'm threading the needle of a CXC thread, I struggle a little bit more because it's not that they fray, but they don't stay together as well. But then that may be why they plump up and they're nice and plump when you're actually stitching with them. Whereas with the DMC, they hold together, I think. Actually, the chat looks better. The chat looks better? Wow, what was wrong with the chat? Am I missing something? Oh, does the chat look better on this one, or did it look better on the Zoom? Thanks for the welcome, Teresa. It's been fun to listen in, but the duck chat had me reaching for the phone. David, did you get a duck? Did you get a duck? Come on, David. Did David get a duck? So many ducks might have to get more than one. I know, they are so good. Holy cow, the eye of my needle just broke. What on earth? That's the first. You're obviously not paying enough attention. I've never had the eye of one of my needles break as yet. But I must admit, I do tend to find that if I'm not paying attention, you know, like when, I don't know if this does this to you. You know when you've got your needle and the threads sort of curly-whirly round, they turn into a curly-whirly. Do you remember them chocolate bars? The curly-whirlies, where they do this. I think that's what they do. Well, I tend to find that my thread always ends up doing that, where it just curly-whirlies round. And sometimes if I'm not paying attention, especially if I'm watching, say, the likes of FlossTube or this chat, I go to pull, and because I'm not expecting any resistance, all of a sudden I get loads of resistance on the needle because I can't pull because it's sort of twizzled its way around itself. So yeah, I have to on purposely make sure that I untwist my threads. CXC is a poly cotton blend where DMC is 100% cotton. There you go. If you didn't know anything else, you've just learned something new today. I used to do 2/1 on 25 count with DMC, but now I can do 1/1 on 25 count with CXC. So use lots and less and cost less. Oh, that's good. If I get the duck, how long do I have to kit it? I know you said March, so I will aim to get everything for then. I'm personally going to go with starting the duck in March. And I'm not going to make it harder for myself too early on in the year. But yeah, March time. I'm going to the stitching. I have the Essex Needle Stitching Retreat in March. So yeah, the duck will be started then. And it gives me a chance to get all the threads and to get everything at the ready. In the UK, Cross Crafts on Etsy or Facebook for the CXC threads. Yep, so for those of you in the UK that are looking for some CXC threads, Cross and Crafts is where we got ours from. I can only get DMC unless I order online. Living in rural central Texas, it's hard to find supplies. Yeah, see, do you have CXC threads in the States at all? Or is it just that they're a bit sort of sought after and hard to get your hands on? I've only got experience in the UK. All right, I think I need to check. Hold up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10, 11, 12. 1, 2, 4, 10, 11, 12. Do you know what, people? My eyes are getting tired. I need to finish this thread, and then I'm going to switch screens, and I'm just going to sit and read the chat because, yeah. They do curly whirly snakes. Do they really? I didn't know that. Have they still got the old-fashioned curly whirlies that you used to have? I think we have our next sale theme, ducks. I'm going to get a duck, but I'm also starting a Quaker sampler next week. Oh, what Quaker sampler are you starting, David? Tell. Do tell. Never been to Sarah's retreat. Oh, Will Grandmaster. Oh, well, Grandmaster and high tea is. Oh, Chelsea. She's in there. Did you ever find the right way to pull the CXC threads? Oh, do you know what? I never did I? I never did find that out. Hold on. Where am I at? Is that the last one? Hold up. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Let me finish this here. Do you know what? If you wasn't sort of like, you know, on this very loud mic, I would shout out to hubby to supply me with my Bailey's pronto, because he has arrived. He is home. Okay, I'm gonna call it a day there, I think. Hold up, let's just check. Yeah. Okay, let's stick that there. I think I've done enough stitching. I don't think I've done too badly. What do we reckon? It's not that bad, is it? We did all right. We did all right. Let me flick the screen over. Hold up. There we go. There we go. Oh, that's not what I wanted to do. Hold up. Oh, yeah. Ugh. Go over there. Go over there. Now I've just dropped everything all over the floor. Oh. Okay. You have my undivided attention, my lovelies. What was we saying? Oh, I just saw first name. Sorry, muddled you with a different Jen. Oh, okay. That's a message in the chat. I'll ignore that. I really do need to learn when to skip past these. Maddie says, okay, good, because that gives me time to get stuff. Yes, I need to get stuff as well, because I had no intentions of doing any ducks. And yeah, and then and then a duck landed in my inbox. I got CXCs off of a seller on AliExpress. Oh, see, now how many of you would really actually go and purchase from AliExpress for the CXC threads? That worries me, because do you actually know that they're CXC threads? Brenda says duck has 90 threads. Which duck did you get, Brenda? I know you did say, but the chat's disappeared, so I can't tell. Which duck are you stitching, Teresa? I'm stitching the... I would be able to show you, but I'm on the wrong screen now. I'm stitching Little Princess. Yeah. Is that what I was doing? That was what I was doing, wasn't it? I can't remember how many threads mine is. I'll need to check. Right, so Jennifer says she's never heard of the CXC threads in California. I've not seen or stitched with CXC threads. I've never seen So it must be, well, does that mean that the CXC threads are predominantly like sort of Europe and UK? So Dora says, where can you get the CXC threads that are cheaper than DMC? So the CXC threads, there's a company called Cross and Crafts here in the UK. She's got a Facebook group, and is she on Etsy? It's called Cross and Crafts, and the CXC threads are like so much cheaper, so much cheaper than the DMCs. However, Brenda's saying Amazon has CXC threads. Be careful, because they're not what I call the genuine CXC threads that you can get off of, say, Cross and Crafts. I've ordered what I thought was CXC threads on Amazon and on AliExpress, and what I got was absolutely nothing like the quality of the threads that I got from Cross and Crafts. So just me personally, that was my experience. Made it just in time to be super late for the live. No problem at all. There's nothing wrong with being late. You can watch this final bit, see, where we sit and we do the usual little Teresa sort of sitting there chitty chatting, and then you can go back and watch the video. So it's not like it's not live. You still get to say hi. I still get to say welcome to the stream. Yeah, job done. You're not late. You're never late. Even watching as an afterthought, it's not late, is it? It's you just, yeah, when you can. It's all about when you can. Hold up, who's just sent me something? Oh, it's I'm just getting pictures of the Quaker that Dave is about to do. Oh, that's lovely. Very lovely. Like that, Dave. David. Should I call you David, or are you a Dave? Do you like Dave, or are you a David? I will come on, Teresa. I will re-watch later when I stitch. That sounds like a good plan. Charlotte says, loving the jumper. Do you like my new jumper? Look. I've gone a bit Aztec-y, don't you think? So I've gone with like the Aztec jumper. I've gone with like the Aztec nails. I don't know what happened. I've gone from like the usual floral Teresa to like abstract and Aztec. Yeah. Don't quite know what theme's going on at the moment, but I'm obviously having a slight change in general mood, because I do tend to find that's, yeah. Do you not get that you dress for the mood? I was able to get 60 stitches in, so I'm okay with that. Having fun next Saturday. Yes. CXC has certain barcodes. If you join the Facebook page, they let you know, as they can't be fake ones. Oh, didn't know that. Hey, Royal Stitches. Not a problem, my lovely. I had a great Christmas and a good New Year, thanks. Hope yours was great. Think the seller was a factory shop, and you have to ask for the second label CXC to make sure they're actually sending CXCs. Yeah, see, this is where it all gets a bit tricky. I ordered a full set of 2 labelled CXCs from AliExpress. There's a specific list. For 11 is... Right, I think that's Australian dollars. They're brilliant. See, there's a lot of people that do buy the AliExpress. There are a lot of people that buy the CXC threads. And if you can get your hands on them to try them and test them, the only thing that I would say is, for those of you that are what I call lickers and stickers. So if you lick your threads and then you stick them in the hole, I tend to find that I need to have a needle threader when I'm working with CXC threads, because on my needles, most of my needles are a 26 or a 28 needle, and I tend to find that they do, because they're fluffier, they fray more, so I can't get them to thread on the needle as well. So I do tend to find that as far as a load in your needle, they can be a bit more fuzzy, and they're much more fluffy. So yeah, I always use a needle threader when I'm working with the CXC threads. But other than that, I actually prefer the CXC threads, because the CXC threads, I find I have much better coverage. And they're a lot cheaper. You cannot argue that. They are massively cheaper. Lord Liberdon has an article about identifying CXC versus other threads. There is a very, very good source of information, don't you think? Has anyone ever got, well, obviously people have gone on it, but Lord Liberdon, the website, yeah, I love those articles. He's got so much useful stuff on there. Yeah, if you haven't been on that website, you should do. Because, yeah, there's a bundle of knowledge. And he's got some, like, thread things. And, yeah, he's got, like, useful things that you can use for your own stitchy type stuff. Like, freebie things. Really, really good. Dave or David? I think I'm going to have to call you Dave. You all right, Dave? He's probably thinking, oh no. Have to confess, I repeated that one, but love that Teresa now has a whole duck dynasty thing going on too. We're definitely going to have a hashtag for a new start with the ducks. I would love to have said that we'll do it on National Duck Day, but it's just not going to happen. We wasn't on it, people. We wasn't there. Mags didn't tell us soon enough. So, yeah, I'm going to start my duck in March. So if anyone fancies jumping on, we're going to need to have a hashtag. The hashtag must include Mags's name because Mag is the source of the duck thing. The duck, what can I say? The whole, let's go down a duck rabbit hole. You can't even call it a duck rabbit hole. Can we call it a duck hole? So we all went down the duck hole and it is all Mag's fault. So because of that, I think that any type of hashtag that we use to identify it needs to have Mag's name in it. Without, yeah. It needs to be plastered everywhere that it's all Mag's fault. Not Teresa. Teresa got blamed for Magwayen. Mags should get blamed for the ducks, okay? Just so that we know. Where do I see the ducks? Leslie, where have you been? Further up in the chat, if you scroll back up in the chat, you will see a Heaven and Earth design link. It is a, well, I say it's a full coverage. It's not. It's a Heaven and Earth design. It's a golden fitchet duck. They're not full coverage because he's got no background, but the duck is full coverage. So yeah, you can go over there and look at all of the there's lots of them. There's just gorgeousness ducks. The jumper is lovely. Thank you. Just bought Zen Duck with material pack, 25 count Lugana for 1/1. Never done 1/1 before, but this will be an adventure. Linda, get in there. She's just not holding back, is she? Silver Stitches, where did you get your jumper from? So this jumper, I think I got this from a company called Apricot. That was it. And it was in a sale, I think. Apricot. And do you know what? It's one of those really, really nice sort of woolly jumpers. Look, love it. Love, love, love. And rather autumnal. I rather like the fact that it's got autumnal colours. It's all warm and cosy. Poor Dave. No, not poor Dave. All right, Dave. All right, Dave. Isn't like 60 cents a skein on 1, 2, 3 stitch. I don't think they do CXC on 1, 2, 3 stitch, do they? I think what is it DMC a 60 cents a skein? What's the website for the CXC again? I'm American, so I doubt that the shipping will make it cheap though. She doesn't have a website, I don't think. Cross and Crafts. Cross and Crafts? Do we have any links for Cross and Crafts, anyone? She's got a Facebook group. And it's Cross as in CROSS. And then N. Crafts. I think she's got a Facebook group. And I don't know, is she on Etsy? Who knows? Someone in the chat will have a link. And if you can't find it here, so for those of you that might be looking to see whether Cross and Crafts could help you with the CXC threads and whether the shipping would be
doable. On my in the description box below, I will put my Google document, and within that Google document I will make sure to link to her Facebook group, so you can she's really good. Literally, you reach out to her, you can either send her the chart that you want to sort of kit up, or you can just ask her, you know, if I wanted 20 skeins of the CXC threads, how much would it cost? And she'll be able to, she'll be able to point you in the right direction. Okay, so Charlotte Lubber has put the link in the chat to her Etsy store. So it's Etsy and it's Cross and Crafts. So if anyone wants to go and look at the Etsy store, then she has an Etsy store. I didn't know she had an Etsy store. I knew she had the Facebook group. Will Haid have another big sale before March? I know last April they had 50% Easter sale. Good question. I don't know. I'm not too sure, in all fairness. I'll need to find out. I say I need to find out. Anyone on the chat that's a full... Well, Donna Marie, don't you buy it just... Oh no, you don't just do Haids, do you? Mad Multi. Really, Multi? Fun fact, I live 15 miles from Cross and Crafts. You just love to rub salt in the wounds, don't you? It's mean and hurtful, you know that, right? Even I don't live 15 minutes away that I could just jump in the car and go, darling, any chance you can just sort these threads out for me and I'll whiz around in the car? I promise, I don't know, I'll make you a cup of tea or bring your bun. Oh, geez, I went down the duck hole. Thanks, lovelies. Now, which do I choose? I know, they are just too gorgeous. Oh my God, how do you pick a duck? They're all so cute. I've put one in my cart. Do you know what Haid are going to be like? Why are all of a sudden all these ducks going out? We've started a duck surge. It's going to be like a duck surge. The not cross stitcher. Can you mix CXC and DMC on the same project? I don't see why not. I wouldn't necessarily mix the same colour. So say for instance you had, as example, if I had say 184 in DMC and then I had 829, I might do 829 in the CXC but do it all the way through the design and then use the DMC in the 814. What I wouldn't do necessarily without checking would be to sort of, I don't know, run out of 814 in DMC and think automatically that the CXC thread is going to match that. I'm not sure that it would necessarily. It's a bit like batch numbers. I mean, even with the DMCs, there have been occasion where I've run out of one skein of DMC in one colour and then gone to use another skein of the exact same colour, and actually when I've stitched it, there's a difference, because I think it's a bit like wallpaper and carpets. I think there is a bit of a difference in batch numbers. But would I put CXC and DMC on the same project as long as they were different colours and they were all the way through the project and I was using all CXC for one colour and all DMC for another colour? I wouldn't have a problem with mixing and matching. What was the question? I only do full coverage. No, the question was not that you only do full coverage, whether it was just Heaven and Earth Designs and whether you knew whether they normally do a sale between now and March. My mum had Oriental prints in the dining room growing up, going to use the ducks in mine. There'll be like heirlooms when we get older, ladies and gentlemen. We'll be like, oh, do you remember the ducks? Yeah, everyone had a duck. Oh dear. Nerd by Design on Etsy has CXC. I haven't bought from there, just did a search. They are in California. Ah, Melinda. So there is a supply of CXC in the USA. Although I must admit, California is a bit of a distance from Houston. She's going to be glad it didn't happen when the sale was on. DMC tends to be slightly shiny, whereas CXC are more matte. You can use both, but you may notice a difference. Yeah. It's not okay to mix as the thickness is different. Oh, really? Is it that obvious then? Is it that noticeable where you see like an obvious difference between the CXC versus... do you know what? We're going to have to do a comparison. There's a comparison video. I feel a comparison video coming on, people. I'm going to have to get my DMCs and I'm going to have to get my CXCs, and we're just going to have to do a comparison video. So watch this space. I do believe there's a calling for that. We need proof of this. And we need to see how obvious the coverage is. See it? Right, okay. So Connie says... oh, sorry. Southern Stitcher said, it's been fun, but it's time to start prepping for dinner in Ohio. Bye-bye, my lovely. Thank you for coming and hanging out on the stream. Don't worry, I'm going myself shortly. Connie says, CXC full set on Etsy from Cross and Crafts to ship to the States is $32.14 with the thread price of $49.79. So is that particularly competitive? I'm just trying to think. How competitive does that work against, say, you buying DMC in the States? Because I have no idea how much a full set of DMC would cost you in the States if it was, say, being bought from, say, somewhere like 123 Stitch, where you'd buy the whole set. Thanks for all the laughs and stitches. You're more than welcome, my lovely. Hope you haven't accidentally put a duck in your basket. Oh my God, have you seen the ducks walking the dogs? I have. Kelly says, I mixed CXC and DMC on my Healing Rose and I couldn't tell the difference. Sally says, a message to David, the duck on the moped is darling. Got to go, headache is coming back. See you all next time. Bye, Rhonda, my lovely. Thank you for coming and hanging out on the stream. So Donna Marie says that Haid usually do the different calendar events, so possibly March for Mother's Day, or they might wait until April for Easter. Yeah, that's what I thought they might do. There's a massive difference. I can send a photo in the morning. Yeah, send me a picture so I can see the difference. Right, I think I'm going to call it a wrap up, everyone. I think, yeah, I'm tired. You must all be tired. Oh, hold up. Before we go, Nerdy by Designs is free delivery, $70 for 447 full skeins. There you go. So there is CXC threads in the States. It's just a case of finding them and whether they're cost effective versus the DMCs. So, yeah. Trust me. In America, your DMCs are way, way cheaper than they are here in the UK. We get stung with the DMCs. So the CXCs are very, very cost effective, especially when you want to be stitching lots and lots of projects, or you want to be stitching on your full coverages. Yeah, the CXC threads are not bad at all. Right, I think that's it. I think, yep, there's still some conversation about the CXC and the DMC. We'll definitely be picking that up again on the next live because it would be rude not to. That said, please remember, I don't intend to be doing a live stream next Sunday. So I'm going to get a day off. I've got the retreat on the Saturday and yeah, I'm working in London on the Monday. So I need to go to bed early. So there's no live stream for next Sunday. But I will be back with you the following Sunday. So yeah, I hope you'll get lots of lovely stitchy time. And for those that are wondering about the duck conversation and you haven't already, don't blame me for the ducks, okay? It's all Mag's fault. Just saying. Well, you've all kept me wonderfully entertained for the evening, and I feel that I've got much more stitching done on my Magwayen. And I look forward to seeing all of your pictures of all of those that are involved in the sale and the Stitch With Me on the Teresa Made Me Do It sale. So yeah, I will keep an eye on the Facebook group and see all the gorgeousness and what you've been stitching and, you know, what you get done over the next week or so. So yeah, thank you ever so much. I've had a wonderful time. I hope you all have a wonderful week. Yeah, thank you. And until next time, people. Bye-bye for now.